What you doing out in these streets, Leroy? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out? What you doing out? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out in these streets, Leroy? We in these streets.
That's what we're gonna.
Now like this, like we're having a
Just
conversation.
lekker. Okay,
yeah,
now
like,
lekker.
cool. Yeah.
Just lekker. Are we rolling?
We're rolling.
Oh, we've been rolling.
How have you been, man?
Been alright, bro, man. Just been chilling, you know.
Chilling.
Well, actually, quite the opposite. Today is the first day of chilling.
Oh, really?
Yeah, it's like I said, you know, earlier, the month of February has just been like hectic with the work. Like, just like, look, so my work involves like managing grant projects, and it's like in the fields of like mental health and medical device innovation. So there's periods of times when it's quiet, and then there's times when everything is just back to back, and I've got like a total of 17 projects that I need to manage.
Holy shit.
So if a lot of them come to you at the same time, it's like, you know.
Like,
plus,
what do you... Sorry.
Yeah, no,
the mental health thing, like, what do you guys do? Do you guys get funding for projects to...
Yeah, no, so what we do is we get funding from the UK government.
Oh.
So yeah, the MRC SA, South Africa, and the MRC UK, they have like this collaborative sort of partnership as well. So the UK government gets money, and then they use SA like as an implementing partner. So they give us money, we now send out emails, you know, to universities and that, and then they apply for funding to research in mental health. So it's schizophrenia, it's psychosis, you know, maybe mental health relating to substance use disorders. So yeah, so it's just I have to manage those projects and like, you know, monitor them. So they're like 3-year projects, so that they, you know, that it's going according to plan, and I need to come in with sort of my knowledge, like I guess in the field of like grants management and public health, and assist them accordingly.
So do you guys get like stats from these institutions, and then based on stats you apply for more funding, or how does that work?
Yeah, so what happens is that look, we identify like through the SA government, because my work also works with the Department of Health and the Department of Science and Innovation. So they basically looking at, you know, what are the priority areas. So they like, look, mental health is a neglected area in the country. So let's get funding or whatever in, and let's reach out to the international partners and chat to them, and then that's how we get the funding in. Yeah. Then we distribute it to like professors at universities and things like that, and they do this type of stuff, yeah. But to answer your question, I've been alright.
You know, I was thinking the other day, like I was trying to pinpoint like how we met, man. And you know, the common denominator was Lloyd. I don't know if you remember Lloyd.
Yes, and Lloyd, and through my cousin Adrian. AD Williams.
Oh,
lived
yes,
down the road,
that's right.
opposite the
That's
park.
right. That's right.
Yeah.
I remember him too, yeah.
So him and Lloyd were also buddies.
Yeah.
And then I remember I was still there by them, and then I came out and you were there. I think,
he said that I should meet you because you were a rapper.
the hip hop and all of that, yeah.
And then I was like, because I remember, I think maybe the first time I met you, like just started spitting like, and I was like,
yeah, you know, back then it's like you into this hip hop thing, and then it's like, you just want every opportunity to like freestyle, or you want to spit a verse, and like, the hunger is there, you know.
No, but like for me back then, like I never even thought about like, cause like you just had this confidence that just to spit at any time, anywhere, in front of anybody.
I wish I still had that level, bro.
and then I was like, how does he just do that? Like, fuck that, I'm not gonna rap.
No, but it's really odd. I actually been thinking about this in the week when you said we should meet up, and something that I actually wanted to, I guess, like not lay on the table, but like, you know, just put out there is like something that I've thought about, like in terms of like hip hop. Like, look, the type of hip hop you do is distinctly different from the type of hip hop I do.
Yeah.
But at the same time, it's still fucking awesome. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, it's still hip hop.
Exactly. So I'm thinking to myself, you know, there's a time and place for everyone and everything.
Yeah.
Like, because I remember we went once to a park jam in the plain.
Oh, I remember.
Do you remember?
Yeah.
And then I was thinking like, you must grab the mic. But then I remembered like, your niche, your style is so uniquely carved out.
Yeah.
That like, how can I say, like, I wouldn't say like, don't waste your time like doing that like at the at like such a setting, because for me like Park Jams was lekker, it was expressive and that, but it also had a very grimy element.
It's very grimy.
It had like a grimy element, man. And even though your music 10 to 1 you can boogie to, much more than my music. You know what I'm saying? My stuff, you just sit there.
But your stuff would have worked better on that Park Jam though, that's for sure.
Like, yeah, but at the same time, the Park Jam sound quality is a cuck.
That's cuck.
You can't. So if you're spitting lyrics, that's crafty and that someone needs to really pay attention to, they don't really like look at it that, because they can't hear you.
They can't
hear
but
you.
It takes it back to the element where it like basically started. It's just like the speaker connected to this mic. And everyone standing around, you just grab the mic, grab boys. It just took it back to the root of it all.
And that's a thing, and that's something
it more accessible, basically.
Yeah, that's something I've sort of like tried to come to grips with over the years. Is like how the sound of hip hop has changed.
Oh
man.
yeah,
you know what I'm saying? Like 10 to 1. Like look, not 10 to rewind that. But like I don't necessarily feel the trap the way I feel the boom bap.
Boom bap, yeah.
The way the boom bap era like translates to me, it's like it's just street, it's raw, but for a kid growing up in today's age, all they know is a type of trap beats. You know what I'm saying? And for them, they feel that runs in their blood, and that's all good and well, because it's something that the lighties keep themselves busy with instead of committing crime. You know what I'm saying? Even though many a times in hip hop, people are just reflecting the environment, their surroundings. They're talking about the crime that's happening around them.
Yes.
So a lot of people maybe sometimes get the impression that like, what they're speaking about in their songs is what they do.
Exactly.
But they just sort of reflecting. And it's the same thing. It's something that I only came to grips with NWA when I was older. Like even though Easy and them, Easy-E and them were like, selling drugs and stuff like that, and the studio was primarily funded from drug money, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like, people just like reflecting the environments, and whether it's on a trap beat or a boom bap beat, that's the way it is. And then, you get the Park Jams, which is like mainly, the raw element of hip hop with the boom bap beats.
Yeah.
And you had like this other niche, man, like about you, and your stuff was like, your Jimi Hendrix, your stuff, like you got the wigs on, you're having a good time, you're like, and it's still hip hop, it's dope.
But remember before that, it wasn't that my style completely changed.
No, but that's what we go through to find our sound, man.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? We're always dabbling in like a little bit of everything, like for example, the older work that I did, and like some of that stuff is so raw and so angry. Now, like if I listen back, I found an old CD back in it, like from like something that we recorded in 2009, 2010. I was an angry kid, man. And like, you go through that, you go through the angry vibes, you go through the battles phase, you go through the, now you feel like people are doing ego music. Now you want to do a song about how gevaarlijk you are. But like, it's phases you go through to find what works for you.
I remember like you took me to this place. I was a weeknight, like a school night. You took me to this club, man. I don't know where it was, man.
Wasn't it there by Boomer?
Where the fuck is Boomer?
Kaila.
I don't know, but it could have been.
In the middle? Wasn't it downtown? Also
it wasn't downtown. I knew about... Downtown came about later.
Stones Kaila, maybe?
Nah, it wasn't Stones. I know what Stones looked like. It was this grimy kind of a club, man. We went...
like with a side entrance.
Fuck, I don't know. Yeah. But I know for sure, like, before we went, you said you're going to pick up your friend, and it was Michelle. First time I met Michelle that night.
I'm trying to think now as well. I can't remember.
Do you remember Michelle?
No.
She's a chef now.
Oh,
I don't know what her surname is now.
Yeah.
And then we went, and then MC Cole performed that night. You know MC Cole?
Yes.
He won he went later on to win the African Hip Hop Indaba
Yes.
freestyle.
Yes, exactly.
And then he went to Joburg and he got a deal for because of that.
Yeah, yo, bro, you're
But that
taking
was
me back.
But that was the first time that I experienced like live hip hop. Like,
No, it was lekker, nah.
Oh yeah, I was like,
Lekker.
this is a new world. Man.
Yeah, because that's what I was trying to do with you, because I realized like you loved hip hop, you loved writing, you loved like, you know, just making songs, making music, but you were operating isolated, man.
Oh yeah.
You were very on your own,
because I was so afraid. I was like in this box because I didn't want people to hear my stuff because I was insecure.
No, we go through that.
Yeah.
We go through it.
I was like, no, you can't hear my stuff.
I mean, I rapped for long in my room, my bro, before I actually got out into the public. Yeah. I think probably like from like the age of 14, you know what inspired me to write? Mm-hmm. So I mentioned to you earlier that Gary used to work for this organization, that Molo Songololo organization. So we used to do like a lot of youth work.
Yeah.
So we met this guy from the States. He was much older. I think in the year 2000, he was 50 years old.
50?
Yeah. So I was 14. He was like 35. He was like probably like as old as my pops. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So anyway, so he loved hip hop. We were talking about old school hip hop. We were talking about NWA. We were talking about Naughty by Nature.
Wow.
We were talking about like De La Soul.
Whoa.
You know, and then there was another kid there who, like, you know, he used to do like these group works and workshops and present things. And he pulled out like a sheet of paper of songs that he wrote, like verses, and he started like spitting his verses. And then I said to my bros, like, my bro, I also want to write songs. And then we were chilling by him one Saturday night, and then like I wrote a verse, like a whole page full, but it was kak. But I just like try to make it rhyme like as much as I can.
Yeah.
So since then, that's how I got inspired into writing. So from that age,
it's old time
until about matric, it was just like in my room, or like, you know, playing like old like instrumentals. Like you get hold of like an instrumental CD of like DJ Premier beats or whatever, and then like you start rapping on that and you start practicing your flow. And then I think it was like in matric that do you know, is it Mia Casa in Kuilsrivier Main Road?
Oh, that
place used to be known as Wagon Wheel.
I remember Wagon Wheel.
So it used to be known as Wagon Wheel back in the day, and I don't know who I met, but they were doing like these hip hop sessions there.
Yeah.
And it was like on a Sunday, so I thought, now I've got like these songs that I wrote or whatever. I'm gonna go perform 2 songs or whatever. And then I walked into the bathroom, and then there was rappers freestyling in the bathroom.
Oh wow.
And one of the rappers was Jetsvanger.
Oh wow.
This was 2004.
Holy shit.
And then I don't think he will remember me, but then we somehow fell into a circle and started like just going from person to person and like just freestyling, beatboxing, someone with beatboxing. And then that's like my first sort of exposure into the public.
Wow.
So it takes long. And at what age did you start writing?
Sure. I started like writing, I think I was 10.
Is it? Okay, cool.
Yeah, I was 10. Like we used to like
school and that. Yeah. Oh yeah, you did say in your video the behind the scenes of the man. Why can't I get your track's name now, bro? Put me under pressure on camera. the latest one.
Oh,
I remember.
Oh.
Yeah, there we go.
Yeah, because like we had these like we used to have this group. We started this group, like me and this other bruh. What's his name? Walter. Fuck Walter. Yo. At this group called Moonwalkers. I just made this rap duo.
One glove on.
We used to write these I can't even call it songs, but it was like these kind of mini verses that we used to spit in the front of the class. But then I stopped for a while, and then I started coming back again.
Yeah.
Because, you know, when the girls come, then you want to get inspired to write about, you know,
about the girl, you want to tell your story.
Yeah. So that's how it basically evolved.
Exactly. No, that's interesting. But it takes a while to build up that confidence, man. And also, you know, you can even have built up that confidence in doing like your hip hop, and then something can happen where that confidence takes a knock.
Oh, yeah.
and then you sort of like pack it in for a little bit. Like, for example, for me, right? So what happened is that 2010, 2011, 2012, and then basically like what happened is that I felt like, I mean, look, I mean, for the sake of the video, I'm not going to mention any names, but like, I felt like there was a sort of like a stage where, like, do you remember like the shows in Purple Turtle and stuff like that back in the day?
Yeah.
So I felt like there was a phase where like I wasn't being given an ear.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? Like, there was a lot of Owens coming through then, you know, were really like hot and like were really nice. But the thing is, my goal with hip hop was never really to be famous. It was just to like, you know, write my own shit and put it out there and hope that people like listen to it and maybe it reaches 1 or 2 or 3 people. That was my goal. I didn't really try to get on the radio. So there were cats coming out, they were having songs being spun, you know, on UW's radio, on Good Hope, you know what I'm saying, and Bush as well, you know, back then. And I felt like, look, you know, like with that kind of thing, you know, I feel like a lot of guys were maybe like not taking me seriously at the time, but that was me like dealing like with my own demons inside of me. Because then now that if I reflect on it, the material that I was writing and the things I was saying and talking about, I wasn't 100% living it. You know what I'm saying? And it took me a while to come to that realization.
Wow, that's heavy.
So in other words, to a certain extent, like I wouldn't go as far as to say like I was fake. You know what I'm saying? Because like I felt like the shit I was spitting was real, but it just wasn't 100% my story.
Yeah, but
you know what I'm saying?
Even if it's somebody else's story, if it's what you see in your environment.
I mean, you put hard work into your verses, you know?
Yeah, I mean, it's still something that it's still a truth you are telling. Yeah. It might not be your truth, but it's a truth. Yeah. It comes from what you see, what you experience around you.
Yeah. So I felt like a lot of the guys then were like, you know, they weren't really like taking me seriously, you know, they maybe like, you know, you get that feeling like when people don't fuck with you.
Oh yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Oh yeah.
So then, in a way, a couple of things, you know, happened, and then I basically thought like, nah, fuck, let me focus on my studies or whatever, finish my studies up, focused on my career, you know. And there was a circa 2011, 2012, and then for about, I'd say like about 3, 4, 5 years after that was just me sort of reflecting on like, you know, who am I? Who are my friends? Who are the people who's really down for me? You know, who gives a shit if I die? Who would come to my funeral?
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Doing like an audit on your life.
Exactly. Yeah. So that took me a while to do. You know what I'm saying? Because I also wasn't very happy in my career. I mean, I'm not 100. No one's really 100% happy in their career, you know, unless they freaking, I guess, born with a silver spoon. But that's a whole other conversation.
Yeah.
But I felt like at that time I needed to reflect on who I was, and I basically I cancelled all my social media. Like I didn't have Facebook. I remember
when Facebook
Twitter,
was still like, I remember you just went off
the grid. I just cancelled it. I went off the grid for like a good few years. And then basically what happened is that I started then, you know, something happened at work where we ran a campaign, like I think for, I don't know if it was for HIV or it was just about like, you know what the company does. We were having a company conference and the Joburg people came in, the Durban people and everyone. And then myself and this dude at work, like, it's really, I think I played you the song back in the day. It was something about like, you know what we do for love. It's like sort of like, you know, trying to help people with access to healthcare and stuff like that.
Yeah.
So it was really weird because it was like this 40-something-year-old white guy who doesn't even rap, who's never rapped, but he loves music.
Yeah.
So I told him, look, dude, write a verse.
Okay.
Let's get online, let's check some beats out or whatever, and then I'll write a verse, and then we'll book studio time.
Oh, wow.
But all on company expense. So we could get like top-notch shit, you know. So he wrote his verse, and then we found a nice little beat. I think if you want to, you can play it in this thing afterwards or drop the link or whatever. But then we bought exclusive rights to the beat.
Holy shit.
From a guy, a producer in Texas.
Holy shit.
And then we booked studio time and
What?
then we recorded it. Yeah, it was really, really cool, man. Because the beat came with the chorus pre-recorded, yeah. So then we just filled in the verses, like 3 verses.
Holy
him
shit.
and then me. And then him and me in the 3rd verse. We split it.
Holy shit.
But then that sort of like got me back into coming out of that funk that I was in for that 4 or 5 years, you know. Because honestly, I felt like, you know, with what happened at that time, you know, there was a lot of shit talk going on. And I felt like a lot of the cats that were in, like, on the hip hop scene or whatever, there was still little things going around. But I felt like, to such an extent, like, you know, people don't fuck with me that I couldn't even show my face there.
Wow.
Like, yeah, I felt that way. Like, if I walk in, it's like almost like this man just gonna be like, oh, you know, what's this brat doing here? Whatever.
For real?
Yeah, I felt that way.
I think wasn't it more in your head kind of vibe?
That was like in my own head.
Yeah.
Yeah, that was maybe more in my own head, but I felt that way.
I never felt that.
That level of being ostracized.
Yeah, because I mean, with you, I didn't see that. Yeah, I didn't see.
bro.
I didn't see anybody showing that type of animosity towards you or that kind of.
No. It's maybe in my own head.
I don't see. Yeah,
you know. So then I just thought to myself. But then I would say after I turned 30, which is 2016, right? Then I thought to myself, you know what? It's all good, man. I got my people who give a shit about me. I'm gonna work on an album or an EP or something.
Yeah.
And I'm going to, if I'm gonna launch it or whatever. I mentioned to you earlier, you know, I was just going to invite like 20 people, 15 people, have the seating there and just do the live performance with the band.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying?
Speaking of band, you're a fucking rock star now. You're in a metal fucking band now.
I'll tell you what happened. Alright, so we were at one of Heather's former colleagues' houses. And we were having like a braai little gathering or whatever. And there was this dude there, and this guy, you know, the husband of the colleague of either, had like a Martin guitar.
Oh.
So, nice piece of guitar, you know. And then, you know, he fetched it and we were jamming a little. And then this one guy that's in this rock band was there as well. So we were like, you know, just jamming these tunes together. And then we actually exchanged numbers.
Oh.
And then followed each other on the socials. And then he, about a month ago, he hit me up and he's like, hey, dude, you know, been chatting to the guys and we actually realized we need a keyboardist to like just give a fuller sort of sound because they've got like 3 guitars in the band. Wow. They've got a bassist and a drummer. Yeah. But there's certain sort of, there's a missing element like, you know, of the keys and the strings and the organs that ties it together. Yeah, so then he hit me up and then I've been like going to these practices. That's why I said in the beginning I was super busy in Feb because we had those 2 gigs that happened, But the vibe is like, it's different. It's super different from what I'm used to.
Yeah, the hip-hop scene.
Exactly. But at the same time, you know, coming off the point where I said, you know, I felt super judged and that. And maybe that was all in my head where I felt super judged just because, you know, that's me as a like early 20s, you know, dude feeling insecure about himself. I felt like, oh, I'm super thirsty now. I felt like, you know, on the rock scene, it's like no one really judges you.
Really?
Yeah, I feel it's more supportive than the hip hop scene.
Wow, because like I really wanted to be there, but I couldn't. And then I saw the video you sent me.
I know you had a fall. You were right now, though.
Yeah, I'm good. I'm still recovering from a few strains in my hands, but besides the point. What do you want to say? Oh yes, I saw the video you sent me, right? And like
head banging.
But it's like you're the only person of color on stage.
Yeah, man.
And it was so cool to see like this amalgamation of hip hop and
the drum is Indian.
Metal.
The drum is Indian,
okay,
but you couldn't. The stage was small, so everyone was.
You couldn't really see the drummer,
Yeah.
But that was so cool, man. That was so cool to see that, and man, I just saw like because I saw the pictures and Heather posted as well.
Yeah.
You guys chilling with the band members and their partners afterwards, and it just looked like a vibe.
It was super hot in town. You know, last Saturday it was like 36.
Yeah.
So town, it's like, you know, all these high buildings and narrow streets. Yeah. So it keeps that heat.
Yes. Yes.
and there wasn't a breeze, bro.
Yeah,
I was like sweating, you sweat in the club and outside the club.
Now I remember those days.
You know, that was insane. But the scene was lekker. And I mean, look, the music itself, because, you know, for me, like, you know, I do the hip hop thing, but also I like to play piano and I like to play guitar.
See, that's the cool thing about you. Like, you don't just write, like, you actually play instruments, like, keyboard, piano.
Just trying to be
guitar.
more involved.
Yeah. What else you play?
No, just keys and guitar. Yeah, just keys and guitar. Like, if you gave me a bass guitar, I could probably tell you where the notes are on there, because it follows the same tuning and pattern as a guitar, as the first 4 strings of a guitar.
Okay.
If it's a 4-string bass. Not gonna get too technical. But I can't groove a bass.
Okay.
Yeah, groove is important, man.
Cause like when we did the Lose Control video and you had to play
like some of the stuff,
and then you were like, okay, I got it already, and then you like got the. I was like, yo, okay, that's dope. That's dope.
Yeah, it's like being involved in, you know, the different elements of it. I mean, if you look at a guy like Anderson, right? Anderson back.
Yeah.
You look at him and he's like,
that guy is something else.
Dude sings, raps, does his thing in between.
Drums at the same time.
While
he's
so
singing,
he's musical.
Like, he's 100% musical. Like,
he's musical. So that is like my sort of niche. Because like taking it back to what we spoke about, you know, with the Park Jam, you know, and we, you know, getting all grimy and shit. Just like a bunch of rappers like, making noise.
Yeah.
You know, like, first of all, you know, that's not what it's all about. You know, it's all about how you phrase your stuff. If you really want to master your craft, it's about how you deliver. It's about how you write. It's about having your target audience in mind. It's about making your music listenable to a broader audience and not just hip-hop.
Not just hip-hop,
You know what I'm saying? Well, that's what it is for me, you know, and other people might have a different angle, and that's fine because everyone does their own thing, you know. But for me, you know, I love playing guitar. I love playing the jams. Like, I'll listen to like Wu-Tang Clan. I'll listen to like, you know, even like local hip-hop. I'll listen to freaking Queen. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I'll listen to a solo album of Freddie Mercury.
Yeah.
You know, I'll listen to fine music radio that's like classical.
Yeah.
You know, and now lately, you know, I've been dabbling in this rock shit. But I mean, I've always liked soft rock.
Yes.
Like, I'll listen to the John Mayer, huge John Mayer fan.
Oh yeah.
I'll listen to the Bryan Adams, the Sting.
Yeah.
It's, you know, that's music for me, man.
I went through this phase in high school, like, I think from grade 8 to like matric, even beyond matric, like, but I started in high school where I just listened to rock, like, just rock, metal, grunge, punk rock, you know, whatever, just that. And at the time, it was like this group I was hanging out with is like, you only allowed to listen to that. You can't listen to anything else. Yeah. It was so weird. Like, if you listen to this, you must only listen to this. Yeah.
It's kind of strange. 2 brown boys from our area talking about like rock and punk rock and metal, because it's not stereotypical, man. And I think that's always been something that I've been very conscious of. Like, for me, I always felt in my head, don't be like your surroundings. You know what I'm saying? Like, everyone around me, like, you know, like misses, maybe have tried drugs or something like that. And I've never felt like, even though I had like those insecurities and things that I mentioned about, you know, fitting in and that, I never felt like I needed to do drugs to fit in. Yeah. Or, you know, those kind of things. And, I remember one time, like, on high school, we were planning to bunk, right? Me and a former buddy. And then there was like 2 girls as well. So there was liquor involved. So you know what was going to go down, right? And then I planned to like bunk. We were going to meet each other like 10 to 8 just outside the high school gate.
Yeah.
And then got up, you know, showered, whatever, put on my pants. And then I was looking for my shirt. It's like, damn, where's my shirt? And my mom is ironing my shirt, man. And I'm like, damn. It's like these people are ironing my stuff, packing in lunch and shit for me to go to school. And I'm like messing with like people that like I'm not even friends with now. You know what I'm saying? And I'm thinking to myself, like, don't do it, bruh. Don't do it.
Heavy.
Yeah, because I mean, even though like maybe one day wouldn't have made a difference to my schoolwork, I could have caught up.
Yeah.
But it was the principle of the matter.
I know what you mean.
Where, you know, my mom and my dad, they pay my school fees and shit.
Yeah.
And yo, bruh, so I get like thick throat thinking about it.
But that's heavy that
You know
you
what I'm
had
saying?
that type of...
Like at the age of 18, 17, 18. And then I got to them. I mean, and then I met the friends. They were all there. They had the bottle. They had the vodka. And they're like, here's the vodka, whatever, you ready? So I said, look, dudes, I'm not going to do this.
Yeah.
I said, that was tough. That was tough for me to do. And I said, like, I'm not going to do this because I didn't give them the reason. I just said, like, nah, I can't. Look, I'm behind on my work. I said, I wasn't going to go down the emotional trip. Like, look, you know, my mom, you know, my mom kind of quit the job to kind of see to me while I'm at school. My dad's working alone. And you know what I'm saying? Even though one day wouldn't have made a difference, I'm just like, nah, can't do it, bro. So I've always been different, man.
Yeah.
You know, like, whether, and I always felt like, sorry to jump in there, man, but I always felt like, even though I'm different and I didn't really like fit in with the normal crowd of the area, I felt like the right people are gonna find me. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? The right people have the same kind of mind and the same kind of thing. So that's when I started, like, you know, what else can I do to be different? Learn an instrument. Learn guitar, learn piano. Oh, parents don't have money for piano lessons or whatever. Yeah. Listen, use your ear. Taught myself. Wow. You know what I'm saying? Wow. And learn a third language. Why not? Yeah, why the resources are there and they offered it at the school. Exactly. You know, so I did it and I even studied it in varsity. And like, I wouldn't say I'm fluent in French, but I know enough to get by. Yeah. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not going to be fluent because I'm not a native. Exactly. But I can get by. Like, I can survive, you know, if you throw me in that situation. Yeah. So I thought, like, nah, man, I'm a other kind of colored. Yeah.
I studied French in primary school. Erika Primary had.
Yeah, that's where I started. Yeah, I did it Belleville.
Yeah. I never went to Belleville.
That's actually why I wanted to go to Belleville.
Is it?
Because I love the language so much. Wow. I didn't know what I was going to do with the French in my future. Yeah. I still don't know what the hell I'm going to do with it. At the age of 35. But
it's like Portuguese. Like, I learned Portuguese before going to Brazil.
Oh, okay.
And I didn't know how much I would need it. Yeah. Because I just wanted to learn it because
bro.
I just wanted to like be able to communicate, to show people like I'm taking interest in your country. You show respect. Bonjour.
Bonjour. Oh, it's the other, it's the other accent.
Yeah, the D and the I. It's G.
That's a Brazilian accent.
Brazilian,
yeah. Football.
But European, you say dia.
That's amazing, bro.
Yeah,
it's like French, just like certain sounds with French as well.
because all come from Latin, so the origin.
Exactly, the Romance languages.
Yeah. So, but when I got there, I was so lucky I did. Nobody fucking speaks English. Not even at the airport, at the information, like nothing. And not even signage.
That's crazy.
In English. That's like crazy. You are lost, bro. Like,
my parents are going to France in July.
Is it?
Yes, I told them I need to start teaching you guys. Because look, my sister's coming from the States. Yeah. And with her husband, so they're going to meet each other in France. Oh, wow. And then they're going to spend some time there, like in the countryside in France, because my dad always wanted to see a stage or two of the Tour de France.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, so they're going to do that. Now, my bro-in-law, he's competent in French as well, yeah. But I don't think he gets much exposure to it because they live in the States. Oh. But they at least have him with. For like the basics, yeah. So, but I still feel like I need to teach them in case they get separated and they need a hospital, they need food and water.
Because we went food and water. Yeah. Because we went to Brazil, like we were a group. I think we were 9 or 10. I can't remember the number, but luckily my friend, Uran, shout out to Uran, his girlfriend, she's Swedish. But she knows Spanish. She understands and can speak Spanish.
Very close.
Very close, yeah. So when we broke up in a group, like let's say one group wanted to go here, one group wanted to go there. It's like one of us had to be, me or her had to be with the group. Because like even telling the time, because they give you the time in Portuguese, they won't say like quarter past 5.
Aura.
Yeah, they say, well, our is aura, yeah.
Aura.
So it's so like, it's so crazy, man. Like everything in Portuguese.
Yeah.
Like,
No, exactly. You're lost if you learn it. And you know what actually inspired me as well is like when I was in matric.
Yeah.
So there was a group of students from Reunion Island that came.
Oh, wow.
And me as a 17-year-old, there's a girl you with now. And I'm thinking to myself, because they came here to like improve their English.
Oh, my
Didn't
word.
help for shit. For 3 weeks. And then I'm like trying to learn French so I can communicate with this girl. And then I would like prepare the day before what I'm going to say to her. And I would like write it, down. And then I asked her, then like, she lived like in the street as well, but someone who also went to high school with me.
Yeah.
And then now I go there in the morning and we're all going to walk together. And then I'm like with my page and I'm like, bonjour. She like, salut. And I'm like, comment ça va?
Comment ça va? Yeah.
Ça va et toi? And then it's like, and then she'll say something, then I'm like, no, it's not on the script.
It's
not on here. Let me do the talk.
You can't say that. You can't go off script.
I don't know where you're going now. Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
So man.
I remember somebody.
Whatever it takes to inspire you to learn.
Oh, yeah. Because I remember somebody said, like, I met my friend, came down and he brought his friend from France.
Lost.
And then I remembered, I still remember, but then he asked me, comment ça va? Then I said, pas mal, merci. And he was like,
bad.
And then he was like, oh, you fancy? So I was like,
not bad. Yeah, not bad. Yeah.
So he's like, oh, you fancy? I was like, look, it's only like stuff that I remember from back then.
Yeah, exactly. But it's amazing how it sits still in the grooves of your brain.
But the weird thing is like you gotta keep practicing it, man. You gotta keep speaking it to remember it. Yeah.
That's why I keep some buddies from Congo and Gabon.
Oh, is
so I chat to them, yeah. They're so used to like speaking to me in French. Like I write it much better than what I speak.
You speak it, man.
Yeah. But I need to brush up on it, and that was actually my plan now that I'm done with studies. To this year, I actually want to do a certification in town.
Oh.
So you can at the Alliance in Loopsleep.
Yes.
So you can do your various levels. So you'll get like your A1, A2, which is like your beginner, and like I wouldn't say intermediate, just like beginner A and A1 and A2, and then your intermediate levels are B1 and B2.
That's dope.
And then you get your C1 and your C2. C1 is advanced, and then C2 is your native.
Oh.
Like hectic, like it's even like hectic for native French speakers to pass C2.
Wow.
Yeah. So I want to go for C1. I just want to go in for the C1.
Heavy.
I think you need B1 to be a B1 or B2 to be able to work in a French-speaking country.
Wow.
Yeah. So once you have it, it's for life. It's like having your driver's license.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
That's dope. Because, like, I still have friends from Brazil. And, like, initially when I got back to South Africa or Cape Town, then we would still speak. I would try to still communicate to them in Portuguese. In Portuguese.
Okay, use like translate. I translate or something.
Like,
type it yourself.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah.
Nice.
But then, when you're in a hurry or when you're busy, man, then it's like, fuck, like you don't have time to just sit and think and it's like, fuck, let me just go to English and
then you become stuck in
English. You become lazy.
Yeah, you get stuck in the English.
And luckily for me, they spoke English well.
Yeah.
So they didn't mind speaking English to me, typing it out, so.
But that's the thing, that's when you really like step your language game up. It's how to stay in the language even when you get stuck.
Yeah.
So let's say, for example, you don't know the word for the beach. Like you want to say, I'm going to the beach. So you're like, the beach. Then you'll learn a phrase in that language to say, how do you say beach in French or in Portuguese?
Yeah.
So,
but the cool thing is they even in Brazil, like when you go there and then you don't have to say certain things and they would teach you, like the random people, they don't mind helping you out and saying things. Depending where you go though, because in Sao Paulo was not friendly, bro.
Yeah, you gotta be careful also. You don't want to end up like in a bad area or even in prison in a place where you don't speak the language.
Bruh.
Yeah.
That's not good.
Hardcore.
That's not good. But it's just like when you, like even when you, like when I was in Brazil, let's say we watched like a soccer game, then you come back and you're traveling a whole day and you're tired, man. Then you must still explain to them, I need to get from year to year. What time is this bus coming?
And you have to think in that language. It's exhausting.
You're just tired. And the same thing I had with like after a long day, now you must type a text. And it's like, oh fuck, I'm so tired. I can't think now.
English.
I just want to go something easy, and then it's like, just fuck it. Fuck it.
And also, but the thing is 10 to 1, they always will speak English better than what you will speak their language. Because look, the media is mainly like controlled by the West, West being America.
No, but even the TV, dude, like you put on the TV, everything is Portuguese, like what? If even the UFC,
and it's probably like extra exciting, like the commentators.
I remember I still put on the TV, I was like, UFC, and I was like, okay, it's Portuguese, like shit, like.
That's crazy, man. So listen, what else are you working on now with your music, bro?
Nah, wait, let's not make this about me. Let's not make this about me. Let's make this about you. So
back like in the top secret mode.
So
it comes out with a double album next week.
That's not about me. This is not about me. So wait. You were an ambassador for diabetes awareness.
So basically, like so to just dial it back a bit, right? So I'm a type 1 diabetic. Was diagnosed in 2012. So this year it will be 10 years.
Oh, wow.
For the first 3 years of being type 1 diabetic, I was in isolation. Like really, not in isolation like on my own, but I never met any other type 1s.
Wow.
Right? On social media or in person.
Okay.
Then I met a dude called Greg. Shout out Greg. He is from Boston.
Okay.
So at the company I was working at the time, his dad was on the board of that company.
Wait, Boston in the
States.
The States.
In the States.
I just wanted to make sure because you were diagnosed in Washington.
I was diagnosed in the States.
While you were there. So,
I'll tell you the story after this.
Okay, got it.
So basically, I saw he had an insulin pump.
Okay.
And I'm like, dude, is that an insulin pump?
Yeah.
He's like, yeah. I'm like, what the fuck, man? Like, type 1, for real. Like, there's more of me. Like, I had no idea. And then I eventually linked up, he hooked me up with another friend of his who had type 1. And then that friend on Instagram hooked me up with someone in South Africa who had type 1 diabetes as well.
Shit.
Yeah.
You had to go to
and
America
then I
to
saw,
find somebody.
exactly,
wow.
Then I saw there's a whole network of South African diabetics.
Oh, wow.
Then I saw they were chatting about making sensor technology sort of standard practice in South Africa. Okay. Because, and I think this is actually a good time to show you.
Okay.
Because basically what you've got is you've got your old method, right, of testing your glucose, which consists of a glucometer.
Okay.
Right?
I've seen this.
Yeah. And then your test strips.
Okay.
Right? And then you've obviously got your finger pricker, which you use to pierce a little hole in your finger and then you squeeze out a drop of blood.
I've done that before too.
Exactly. Yeah. So this is the old method, the strip goes in and then you basically check.
Okay.
But if you check yourself at 6 in the morning and you check yourself at 12 noon again, right? And you have to check yourself multiple times a day because you want insulin as a type 1 diabetic, right?
Okay, so, wait. Can we stop right there? Can you just explain the difference between type 1 and type 2?
Okay, cool. So,
pretend like I know nothing.
No, it's cool. Like, and also like,
explain it to me like I'm a 6-year-old.
Yeah, okay, cool. Yeah. And especially like for the people watching, because it is quite complex, but I'm going to put it at the simplest form.
Okay, yeah.
Right? So, you normally, in a normal person like you, normal. Yeah. Let's say you eat carbs, for example, right? You eat your proteins, you eat your carbs, and your greens or whatever. Now, the proteins and the greens, not so much of a concern.
Okay.
Right? But the carbs break down into sugar, into glucose molecules in your system.
Okay.
So if this room, right, is, let's say this is your blood, your bloodstream, right? So obviously the glucose is released into your blood. You need to get that blood out of this room. Like let's say this is an artery or vein or whatever. Yes. And on the other side of your door. Is the cells. Okay. So you know that feeling after you eat and you're like, I feel better, I feel like I have energy.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? You need insulin to feel that way.
Okay.
So insulin acts like a key.
Okay.
To unlock the door, unlock the windows. So now it releases the glucose, carefully controlled out into the cells, and then it sort of like gets converted into energy.
Okay,
right?
Got it.
At the simplest form.
Got it.
Then what happens in type 1 diabetics, the pancreas, which produces insulin, which produces those keys to unlock the door, right? The pancreas actually gets attacked by the body's own immune system. And doctors don't know why. Right?
So they still haven't found
They
explanation
still don't
as to
know
why
why.
this happens.
They still don't know why.
Wow.
Your body's immune system is like, there's a foreign invader, there's an enemy, so it attacks the pancreas and basically the cells that produce that insulin. So now you're no longer able to produce insulin. So what happens is your blood glucose just builds up. You know, the glucose just builds up in your blood and it gets dangerously high. Your body can still produce energy on its own, but then it takes off the reserve fat and muscle cells on the other side of the door, which is not the ideal way. And that you call ketosis. So, you know, the keto thing that people are talking about. So it's not good to do long term.
Okay. So that diet for diabetics are not good for long term.
Well, I wouldn't advise it. I wouldn't do it, and I wouldn't advise it. Look, the thing is that's debatable because there's a lot of diabetics that follow a low carb, sort of high fat sort of thing. But I'll get to that now. I just want to conclude this point, right? Okay. So what happens is insulin. So now you need to, instead of your body carefully regulating those amounts of keys that unlock the doors, you need to now take insulin and inject it. But you need to be careful with the dosage that you inject. Because what insulin does is, if it's too little, then the sugar left over in your blood, if that's too high, you can develop long-term complications with your kidneys and eyes, etc., right?
So you got the kidney failure, dialysis, that kind of thing.
Kidney disease and all of that. But also, if you inject too much insulin and too much of this glucose in this room leaves through that door, you need the glucose to remain in your blood at a certain level.
So how do you know exactly how much to administer at that time?
So you have an insulin to carb ratio, which differs for everyone. So if you know you're eating like 30 grams of carbs, like you might need to take like 4 units or something for it. So it's a very trial and error type thing in the beginning. Yeah. Because you can pass out if your blood sugar is too low. So have you ever like gone dizzy and like almost fainted after hectic exercise?
I think so, yeah.
And you've had to like drink Coke or eat something after to feel better. That's low blood glucose that you experience.
Oh, I've had that on the mountain. There was one time I thought I was going to fall because my balance was so out of whack. And then I ate an orange. Somebody gave me an orange.
And you felt better.
Because I just knew I needed sugar.
Yeah.
I felt like a new person.
Yeah.
I ran
now that happened to you once can happen to me or any type 1 diabetic on the daily.
Wow.
Yeah. So it can happen to you daily, right? Because when you eat, your body produces enough insulin to take care of those carbs. And then the insulin is gone out of your system. But for me, I'm on a 24-hour insulin as well, which I take once a day. That sort of keeps you balanced for when you have those little snacks.
Is that in the morning?
So then it just brings you. It's at night. I take it at night. Some take it in the morning.
Okay.
And then this is the short-acting one, which takes care of the 2 to 3 hour, after you eat.
So this is the one you take
at night once a day.
And that's just one dose, all the same size kind of doses, or is it?
Well, everyone differs. Depends on your body weight, depends on your age, depends on.
Do you work that out yourself, or does a doctor do that?
Well, you have they work it out according to your body weight. There's like a baseline thing that they use, and then they fine tune it.
Oh.
Yeah, and then this you work out your insulin to carb ratio. Probably they also get like a baseline from your body weight, but also you need to check how you respond after a month, and you need to check if you drop too low after meals, or if you basically stay too high after meals, and then you just add a unit or you decrease a unit or whatever.
And that's based on what you eat.
Yeah. So that's why, to come back to your point about the keto diet.
The ketosis,
So the thing is, what a lot of type 1 diabetics also do is, the thing is, the higher your dose of insulin, the more room for error there is.
Oh.
Right? So what happens with a lot of people is that they opt to eat low carb bread, or they opt to eat like low carb wraps, or something like that. Look, gluten-free doesn't mean that it's sugar-free.
It's sugar-free.
Right.
Yeah.
Let me just put that out
We
there.
all know that.
Right? So at the same time, they go for these very low-carb meals and then they take small amounts of insulin. And that's fine. Right? So you're still getting carbs.
So they're getting the carbs from the insulin.
No. The insulin takes care of the carbs.
No, but if they're on a low, like a protein and a fat diet, where are they getting the carbs from?
Yeah, that's just the thing, man. So they're trying to get the energy from, and I'm not a dietitian, just as a disclaimer, but from what I understand is that you get your energies from the fats.
Okay.
Yeah, so the fats then sort of produce that energy that your body needs.
Okay.
And I don't know about it, man, because I feel like as type 1 diabetics, you need balance. Because there's a big misconception that type 1 diabetics can't eat certain things. But in actual fact, type 1 diabetics can eat anything. But it must be in moderation. Yeah.
Because when you explain the whole carb situation, it would make sense to go on a low carb then. Because you don't want that spike.
You use less insulin.
Yeah.
It would make sense, yeah.
Because you don't.
Yeah, but there's lots of other issues, man.
Is it?
Yeah, like in terms of, not in terms of that diet, but like in terms of from a socioeconomic standpoint.
Okay.
Where many,
you
know,
go out
people.
With your friends and you want to have pizza or.
Yeah, no. Like for example, many people can't afford to purchase low carb meals and wholesome foods because there's a lot of kids, you know, especially like in countries like South Africa, in other countries in Africa, Southeast Asia, where they have to eat rice and potatoes, bruh. You know what I'm saying? Because that's all the family can afford. So and at the same time, a lot of them don't even have access to insulin or proper insulin or can't afford to have proper insulin. So that's...
The government doesn't give a grant for this type of thing.
Like man,
insulin
look into
and glucometer or strips.
So look at the public health level, right? You know, from your public health facilities, your clinics or whatever, or public hospitals, they do. But so at public health facilities, many nurses, I mean, in my experience, they treat type 1s the way they would treat type 2. Now you asked me what's the difference earlier, right? Sorry. So type 1s, I must explain, you don't have any key. It's an absence of keys to open the door. Keys the insulin. Type 2 is when the key don't fit the lock.
Oh.
So your body does produce insulin, but your body is resistant to insulin. So let's say, for example, you... we really got to be careful with this, but let's say, just as an example, because type 2 diabetes isn't just brought on by like a reckless lifestyle, but let's say someone was, like they drank a lot, they ate McDonald's 5 times a week, or something like that, right? So now they're gaining a considerable amount of weight. So let's say that lock that you've got there, you basically hitting it with a hammer every day.
Oh, wow.
And now that lock sort of loses its shape. The shape, so the key don't fit in the lock anymore. So now, you know what I'm saying? So just at very simple terms, basically the key doesn't fit the lock.
Because I know that lifestyle. I used to live that lifestyle.
Hey, we all did, man.
I used to live that.
Yeah. And I think and many people think that that's actually how type 1 diabetes comes about.
But
it's nothing to do with what you ate or what you drank.
Because that's the thing I wanted to ask you.
Really have to put that out there.
I always thought that being a diabetic or having diabetes comes from...
You fucked your life up.
You know, not just like that, but like comes from an unhealthy...
Something unhealthy.
Diet or unbalanced diet or unhealthy lifestyle. But I know you were never overweight. You know, you were never... Yeah, you were never like...
I hardly drank, bro. Yeah, like when I used to drink.
Yeah, I mean, you never had that type of lifestyle. You're always this fit looking guy, like never overweight, you know. But all of a sudden you're at type 1.
Yeah.
You didn't even go from type 1 to type 2. It was just automatic. Type 1.
Many go from type 2 to type 1 though. That's a normal.
Yeah, because I have a friend who was that type 2 and then progressed to type 1.
Becoming insulin dependent.
Yeah. So how did you just go automatically, like someone like you, like go?
That's the autoimmune response. That's when your body attacks the pancreas. But no one knows why. Yeah.
Did anyone in your family have it? Or?
I know that my dad's cousin has it, but I mean that's really far. That's far off, yeah.
It's way so.
But I know on my mom's side there's like 2 or 3 type. There were 2 or 3 type 2s. So apparently, if you have that gene, then the chances, there are chances that you can get it. So I mean, look, for type 2, right? So in that case, when you are producing insulin, but your body is resistant to it, you would then take tablets.
Yes.
You would take oral medication to sort of make your body more sensitive to insulin.
Okay.
But if you're still not taking care of yourself, then like what happened there in that situation, or maybe not even just not taking care of yourself, or like if there's like a sort of thing that happens where it just advances. And your body's ability to produce insulin also then dries up. So then you need to be on insulin and you need to take the tablets. Yeah. So it's very complex, but that's as simple as I can explain it. Yeah.
Because
So you were asking about me being an advocate for this diabetes advocacy. So like I said, you prick your finger, you check what happens at 6, you prick your finger again at 12.
And that's every day.
And, well, you can even check it every hour, but you have to, like, sort of keep an eye on it. Yeah. It all depends on the person.
Okay.
I check it fucking often, but I don't take chances. And then basically what happens is that you have no idea of what happened in between. Like, let's say you are only checking twice a day. You don't know what happened in between. So then what the sensor technology does is it sends signals or things to your phone through an app, and you can see how your pattern changed of your sugar.
I've seen those graphs on
I've
your stories
and
on
stuff.
Instagram.
Yeah. So that's when I still need to go and pick one up. So we try to get medical aids to cover that, because right now, if I pick it up, it's eating my medical aid savings.
Oh, wow.
Right? It's not available at the public health level.
Not on chronic or anything? Or?
It's not. It's only Discovery that got it right on chronic, but there's still like a hefty co-payment. So we try to get it as part of the standard care on medical aid, because you really need it.
I mean,
if you're going to hike for 5 hours, dude, you need to be able to watch where you're going if you were type 1 diabetic.
I mean, it could save your fucking life.
Yeah, no.
I mean...
No, literally it could. I had an incident in Seattle when I went to the States.
Yeah.
Where I think, like, when you travel, America's food is just different as well. And I realized that it really spikes my sugar more.
Oh, wow.
So because of that, I had to take more insulin.
Oh, shit.
And now I obviously ended up giving myself a little too much. So what the sensor technology does is it also has arrows that show you if you're cruising forward, minimal changes, or if you're spiking up, or if you're dropping down.
Wow.
And I had the drop down arrow. It said 5.1 or something, but like with a straight down drop arrow. So for those who don't know, you need to be between 4 and 8.
Okay,
right?
So that's the optimal levels.
Yeah, but the thing is, it was showing a straight down arrow, meaning that if I prick my finger, because that thing sometimes takes a while to catch up, man. It takes like 5 minutes delay or whatever.
Okay.
So when I prick my finger, the thing said 3.6. And I'm like, whoa, okay, I'm starting to feel a bit fuzzy. And I'm in a hotel room. The door is closed. I'm thinking to myself, should I try to sort this here now? Or what should I do? Because the thing is, if, for example, the sweets I'm eating don't react quick enough to to how the insulin is working, then I'm actually gonna pass the fuck out in the room, and no one is gonna find me. Because hotel staff won't just come and knock, like, you fine? They'll just like, if your door's closed, you know, they'll just like, nah, can't go in, can't disturb you, or whatever. So that thing warned me that I'm dropping. And what I did is there was a vending machine in the passage as well. And I quickly ran and I put in like $1 or $2 or whatever. And then I got like a can of Coke out. And then I was sitting in the passage, like by the elevator. And I was drinking the Coke. And I was just sitting on the floor. So in case the Coke don't work quick enough and I pass out, someone will find me. Because if I pass out in the room, I might just go into a coma and like,
wow, okay, so
drift away
dude,
into eternity.
Yo, that's scary in a different country, and that's crazy.
Exactly.
But now, at that moment, right,
funny thing is I was diagnosed in the States and then that can't happen in the States again.
Now, okay.
Yeah.
Now, wait. Now, in that situation, right, instead of using insulin, why did you decide to use the coke? Because it was quicker than the insulin.
No, look, insulin brings your sugar down.
Okay.
But I used too much at that stage.
Oh,
so I needed to counter it. So the insulin's doing this with my sugar. The coke is doing that.
Oh, okay. I see. Okay, got you. I was
it's trying to like battle each other, you know.
Now, if you type 2, right? I wanted to ask you.
You won't get such hectic sudden drops as type 2. But if you're not on insulin.
But now let's say I don't want to use the medication and I say, you know what, I'm gonna go on this diet, I'm gonna fix myself up, I'm gonna eat right, and can you manage your sugar levels with a proper diet on type 2?
You can, but then according to my knowledge, you need to then be in a pre-diabetic state.
Oh, must have been
so pre-diabetic state is when you borderline type 2. You hovering right on that edge. So some people are given like a slight oral medication. Some are told to also, just adjust their lifestyle, lose weight, eat properly, exercise, all that. But it all depends on the average glucose control. So they'll do this test for your glucose to see what the average percentage is.
Okay.
And if you are, on the lower end of that threshold and you are in that pre-diabetic, you're a bit over normal, but you're on the lower end of that pre-diabetic phase, then you could probably try to. And then they'll take your bloods again and they'll see if you've dropped.
That's heavy.
Yeah, it's hectic actually. And type 2 won't show up as quick as type 1.
Is it?
Type 1 you'll know within 2 weeks, a week, 2 weeks, yeah. Dude, I'm already skinny. Can you imagine me losing 10 more Ks?
Wow.
I lost 10 Ks in 3 weeks.
Wow.
Yeah, because of that.
I remember when you got diagnosed, because at the time I was doing these gigs. And then every time I asked you, yo, when you coming? And you're like, nah, I still feel weak. And I didn't get it. I didn't get why you...
it was probably after I got back, huh?
Yeah, because I was like, it's a long time ago. Don't you just get medication and you feel better? I didn't understand that.
It takes a few months before you get your shit together.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I didn't understand. Yeah.
Yeah, that's a hectic thing. But look, I live with it, man. The thing is, if I'm going to sulk over my diabetes, then I'm going to be miserable every day. You know what I'm saying?
So you guys are trying to get this, get it passed on medical aid.
Yeah, exactly. So we got people to submit their testimonies to this email address, how this glucose monitoring system helped him, and I told him my story of Seattle and the hotel and all of that.
Yes.
And we also, they signed a petition, we did radio and TV
I remember the
things,
interview,
to just put people, just raise awareness.
Yeah.
Because I think the people who are at the very top on the board of these medical aids, they don't really get. They don't get it because they don't live with it,
And I hate to say this, but let's be real,
government.
No, medical institutions, right? They're there to make money.
Yeah,
and
big pharma.
Yeah, big pharma just there to make money. They're not
full of shit.
They're not there to really help. The main objective is to make a profit. Let's just be real about it.
I'm sure there are people who work for big pharma groups who probably feel like they really do want to help and make a difference.
But they're restricted.
But I think the key decision makers,
or the shareholders,
money.
Yeah, the people who exactly.
Yeah.
So so I'm sure it's gonna cost them a lot of money if they do decide to go put this on not on savings.
Yeah.
And come out of their pocket essentially.
Yeah.
Even though you are paying every month for the service, but it's fucked up because there's a lot of other things that they put on.
But there's a lot of people who also fall through the cracks because the thing is, we're trying to get this shit on medical aid, but what about those who don't have medical aid, bro?
Yeah.
I'm always cognizant of that.
Even something as simple as those strips, for the glaucoma.
Yeah.
Or the
glucometer.
Glucometer, sorry.
Yeah, that's something else in your eyes.
Yeah, I know. I gotta check my sugar levels or something.
Yeah.
But I mean, it saves your life.
Yeah.
I mean, and a lot of people don't even know that they are diabetic.
Yeah.
They just think that this is just how I am.
Yeah. If you type 2, you might not know for months or
you
years,
won't,
bruh.
won't.
You just go one day and you'll see like shit. You're busy going blind and you didn't know you were type 1 diabetic. Or like maybe like, you know, you can't perform sexually anymore, so you don't know what's going on, and then there's something out of whack with your system, or you maybe I've heard already of someone who like he had Rottweilers or something. I think like 3 or 4 Rottweilers, and he was feeding them, and you know, we put the things down, the food down, like these dogs like start like fighting with each other, and like as they bit each other, they also sort of grazed him on his foot. So he got bit like by one of the Rottweilers on his feet, and he's like, fuck it. And left it, and then like in like a few weeks or whatever, just that wound didn't close.
Holy shit.
Got gangrene, put the leg off.
Holy shit.
So that's hectic. Because he didn't know he was diabetic, and because of that, diabetes also, you know, if it's not controlled well, it also means you heal slower. Well, generally you heal slower, even if you control it well. I've learned.
Fuck.
Yeah. I had a cut on my arm about 3 weeks before diagnosis, and it took probably 2 weeks to scab, dude.
So you were worried.
I wasn't sure, like, what the hell was going on with this cut.
So back then it was that was a sign. And you didn't know it was a sign.
Exactly. That's why when I was diagnosed, I felt like a sense of relief. It's like, finally, it makes sense to me why I've been feeling this way, why my vision has been blurry, why I've been losing weight, like why I just feel like shit. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
So then I knew what was wrong with me, and I knew, okay, cool, insulin and exercise and just better management of it. And I feel like I'm in like the best shape of my life, bruh.
Wow.
I feel like I'm good, you know, like I'm in a good mental space also. Because I think at that time, just after diagnosis, I was quite shy to like check my sugar in public and inject. I don't want to freak people out. And I don't give a shit. It's like I ask people, hey, you squeamish, you like give up blood, okay? Look them in the eye and inject myself, like, you know. So it's all about, you know, just knowing who you are, man. You know?
Exactly.
And that can be tied to so many things we spoke about now, you know, speaking about the music, speaking about like the friends and like just your self-esteem. It just stems from knowing who you are and not caring what people think, because the right people will come to you. You know what I'm saying?
I had the same thing with my diet, like taking out the Tupperware container in public and just start eating.
I remember you posted a thing like a protein shake you took with you to the club, and they kept it in the fridge for you.
Oh, that was a long time ago.
You had to take it at a certain time.
That was a long time ago. Yo, that was...
Do what you must,
That was a long time ago. But it's like everyone freaks out when you take this Tupperware container out with food. Like even at gigs, and it's like sitting there and people eating burgers and stuff. But they don't freak out at the burgers, but they freak out with the Tupperware.
They should be worried about the burgers. Yeah, remember, I can't talk shit, man. I had freaking Burger King last night.
Is there?
Yeah.
I've only had Burger King once, once. I swear, like maybe like a year after they ran in South Africa. Yeah. Only had it once.
Is it? I should find it quite nice.
No, it was nice. I enjoyed it, but I just had it once. Like,
man. But that's the thing. I mean, look, meal prep is everything, bruh. Especially depending on your goals.
How did your diet change when you were diagnosed?
Look, I was already like really not. I'm not really fond of like cooked foods, because I find that like it's like more difficult to manage like the glucose. But even before, like the only cooked food I really liked was like my mom's Irish stew and the tamati breedy.
Oh yeah.
That's it, right? That was liquor. Yeah, exactly.
But cooked food in general, you're not a fan of?
Nah, not at all. I would rather then do like 3 pieces of chicken now. I'll do my veggies, and then I'll do like a carb, like a very small amount of carbs.
What is your carb of choice these days?
So my carb of choice would be anything like we hardly do rice. If we do rice, and it would be like the basmati, you know, or like the long sort of grain basmati rice. It looks almost like a pasta noodle thing. Okay. You get it at the Chinese places.
Oh yeah, I've seen that.
Yeah, so those types of things.
And brown rice, do you fuck with
I actually don't. I feel like brown rice, like I feel like it bumps me up, like it knocks my sugar. Yeah. Obviously, depending on how much you eat of it.
What doesn't have that effect mostly? Is it the basmati rice?
So proteins
Yeah.
and definitely your vegetables. Obviously, depending on non-starchy veggies.
Okay,
veggies,
but when it comes to, let's say, carbs now, which of those rice, which of the
carb, like the worst fucking carb you can get?
Yeah.
Pizza, bruh.
Easy. So that spikes it dramatically.
Sure. We as type 1s now, we're still trying to figure out how pizza can be mastered.
Wow.
Because insulin's supposed to work for 2 to 3 hours. So we call it pre-bolus. So you take your insulin about 15 to 20 minutes before you eat, right? Which can kind of be dangerous if you know, depending on where you are.
Okay.
So then you eat your pizza, you eat maybe your 3-4 slices or whatever of like a large pizza, and there's toppings and there's cheese on and all of that. And you check after 2-3 hours and you're like, okay, cool, 7-8ish or whatever. And then you're like, shit, I beat pizza.
Yeah.
So insulin's supposed to work for those 3 hours, but then what pizza does is like, you think you mastered it, but then pizza's like kind of waiting. Like, okay, the insulin is left. Let's get him. Wow. And then it gets you, and then you'll wake up the next morning like 15. Like, then you're all fucked up. Wow. Yeah.
How do you feel like when you're like that and it's 15?
You feel irritable. You feel like your skin is itchy.
Oh,
like scratchy.
So you really feel like you're literally...
Yeah, because it dries you out. So what happens is if your glucose is really dry, dry, fuck. The glucose is really high, then it sort of dehydrates you.
Oh.
Yeah, so that's why you've got to keep drinking water.
Okay. How much water do you drink per day?
Yeah, dude, I don't know. I don't count. I just fill a bottle and keep drinking and drink all day, every day.
Wow.
Yeah. Coffee the whole morning until 12, and then from 12 onwards is water until I go sleep, and even through the night. Yeah. Wow. But, so it makes you feel like quite, and you feel lethargic also. You feel tired. Yeah. Like I'll feel after I eat a really bad meal.
Yeah.
Like, you know, like these gourmet burgers, and you do the chips. And then it's like, you know, if you don't take enough insulin, and if you're like on a high sugar level, then you feel like I literally like will start getting sleepy. Like in my chair.
For real?
Like, yeah, I start getting sleepy. Like, it's like, freaking, it's crazy, bro.
Like middle of the day you feel sleepy?
Yeah, middle of the day you'll feel like it's slumpy to you.
Cause, okay.
So how to keep your energy up if you're eating shit, man?
No, for real.
You really need to eat clean.
That's why I don't really like junk food, because I know it makes me feel like shit.
Yeah.
And if I do have junk food, it's basically before bedtime, because I know that I'm about to sleep.
Yeah.
Because then that feeling, that slump that I get suits my snooze time. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
Because I don't want to.
But at the same time, your carbs store more away.
No, that's fine.
Yeah.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah, okay, cool.
I'm okay with that.
Yeah.
It's just that I don't want to feel like a zombie for the rest of the day when I got shit to do. I like to feel optimal at all times. I like to feel alert. I like to be productive. I don't feel like like a loser right now.
That midday slump also, yeah. I know what you mean.
Now, back to the brown rice thing, because the rice thing, because I eat brown rice. That's like my carb. So now you say the brown rice spikes quite...
For me, if obviously if I don't calculate properly.
Okay, because I don't
But it's probably better. It's probably better than white rice. It's probably, definitely.
But basmati it's better.
For me, it works for me.
So
it's amazing how we're different.
Okay, so I thought it's like a rule of thumb.
That's it. No, that's the thing with diabetes. There's no rule of thumb. Okay, you have to figure out what works for you.
Because the one thing, like when I'm on a low carb diet, right, I feel like I have more energy. The moment I have carbs, then I can feel like that, you know.
Sleepiness,
Like today is my very low carb day. So like I feel like I have energy all the time.
Saturday is probably like a high carb day for me.
Is it?
Yeah, but we're gonna do probably like I'm gonna do some red meat tonight.
Oh, nice.
And some veggies with it, and then I'll probably do like a small amount of mac and cheese.
Okay.
I like mac and cheese more. Mac and cheese, or I'll do like potato as well.
Okay.
Yeah.
A white potato, sweet potato?
Nah, white or sweet.
They're about the same when it comes to your insulin.
For me, for me, definitely. But they just obviously taste different. But I actually quite enjoy the sweet potato fries though.
Is it?
I really enjoy it. Yeah, it's quite nice. So look at it all. It really depends on what works for you.
It's heavy.
But yeah, like I said, man, so many people will come and like, oh, you should try this, you should try that. But I feel like a lot of people are not informed on like what type 1 diabetes is. And they'll always come to you and be like, oh, my grandma was also diabetic. You should really throw cinnamon in your tea.
I heard about cinnamon but cinnamon coffee.
But it's nonsense. Yeah,
really? So cinnamon doesn't really regulate your blood sugar levels?
Nah, I don't feel it does.
Really? You don't feel any impact?
I don't feel any impact.
Because that's the reason I was throwing... Okay, besides the taste like in coffee.
No, look, I like the taste. I like cinnamon in my oats.
Yeah, in oats as well.
That's
yeah. Because the main reason I started doing it was because I heard it could, but it says bullshit.
I feel like it is. I'm not aware of any studies that they've done with cinnamon. Maybe I should go and check.
But after you have cinnamon and they say oats, it doesn't. After you check,
I just like the taste. Yeah, but sometimes look, oats is a tricky thing. Like as a type 1 to manage, but I found what works for me with oats.
Yeah.
But cinnamon, whether I take cinnamon in it or not, it's the same result.
Wow.
Yeah, for me.
Honestly, because even in my protein shakes, I would put cinnamon.
Nah, what if you like the taste? Go for it, man.
Okay, no, I do like the taste. Yeah. But I genuinely thought...
But I mean, if the placebo effect is here, it's like, fuck, I'm Superman. It's Popeye shit.
I genuinely thought.
Yeah. Do you put it over your broccoli or so?
Nah.
Broccoli, cauliflower.
The only veg I eat is spinach. And I'm kind of like...
it just gives me gas also, broccoli and cauliflower. Yeah, I get gas from it.
Yeah,
it's stank up the whole house.
Really?
Yeah, they're just like kicking out of bed.
I know cauliflower does that. I don't know about broccoli. Like, I don't know. I'm trying to move away from veg. Like, I'm eating less spinach now. I started this thing.
Okay. Well, what do you want to eat now?
It's either just protein or carbs. Protein, carbs, and fats. Protein, carbs, fats.
Okay. But you gotta get fiber though. I mean, you gotta shit.
No, like my bowels are regular.
Okay, cool.
Regular. So I
and that segment of the podcast where we talk about bowel movement. Anything goes.
Because the main reason I started eating spinach was because of the high iron content.
Oh, okay.
But now I eat liver. Now liver is super high iron, so that kind of replaces that.
Yo, dude, I can't stand liver, but
no meat. Like, okay, initially
I can't stand the smell of it being cooked.
Initially, I couldn't. I couldn't.
But you got used to it.
I think I got used to it, and I know how to prepare it better now. Because even I prepared it, it was so dry, and I just didn't.
I don't care if it's dry or like juicy, like it's liver, but and it stinks.
Liver is liver. And that's your story.
Yeah, the smell. The smell.
The smell don't get you. Like, the smell for me with tripes and trot is like pains and porkies. I can't fuck with that. I can't.
I think that's where our city sort of roots come in, as a city guys. Because I know that Heather's parents and even my parents, like my dad's born and raised in Eisner, I think they like it. Even my mom likes it, but my sisters and me, we don't like that shit.
Yeah, I know.
And then Heather loves it. Heather and all her sisters like it.
Oh, wow.
And her parents, but her dad and mom's also from a non-city area.
Oh, wow.
You know what I mean? So I thought maybe it's like a platteland thing.
Yeah, like a plus thing.
Yeah, that sort of got passed on, to the younger kids, even those who live in the city. Because apparently that's like the staple diet on the farm. You know what I'm saying?
Really?
Yeah, well, not on the farm, but non-city areas. So I don't know, but I can't get with it. I haven't even tried. Just the smell.
The smell just gets you, man.
Yeah. I'll stand outside, when I used to go pick Heather up and they're making it. Then I was I'll shout hello to her parents from the door. It's oh, you guys are cooking that again. They knew already. They knew. They didn't take offense. They know I don't.
That's it.
And if they do make pens curry and that, and they're no, tell, oh, we're making pens, and I just go to Woolies and I buy myself a whole chicken. And then I take it with me. Exactly.
That's heavy.
Yeah, man.
So you find, so you always have protein with your food.
Because
protein,
definitely.
Protein is
definitely.
For
me, that's my staple.
And that's your one thing that you won't go without if you have a meal, and also because it helps regulate blood sugar.
Exactly. To my blood sugar, I also want to do a test now live on air.
So, while you're setting that up,
so quick.
So, how much carbs do you normally have per meal? Like your general
carbs per meal. Ideally, we're supposed to do 15 grams.
Is it?
Yeah.
Is that 15 grams of bananas or 15 grams of carbs?
15 grams carbs total.
Is it? That's a little.
It is little, but I eat myself full on protein. And that's why our food budget is fucked.
Protein.
Because meat's expensive, bro.
And protein is the thing that fills you up.
Protein's
Not the
thing.
carbs.
No, not the carbs.
That's what I also found.
Yep.
Like,
And I'm fuller for longer. Yeah, tad but high.
which right now,
But,
11.7.
11, yeah.
Heavy.
But that's fine because the thing is, I've got that 24-hour insulin in me
Okay.
that I took last night. So that'll just slowly start bringing it down. You also don't want to crash too fast, man.
Okay.
You know, because then you're in trouble.
How often do you eat? Do you have to eat every few hours?
Like, dude, I will eat in the morning. I'll make my oats.
Yeah.
And then about an hour or two after my oats, I'll have 3 or 4 boiled eggs, depending on my hunger level.
Okay.
And then 2 hours after that, I will make myself like a low GI sliced toast with like sugar-free peanut butter.
Okay.
And then I'll have lunch, which consists of, you know, protein, carb, and like a salad or a veg or whatever.
Okay.
And then I'll do like maybe some yogurt in the afternoon, like banana before supper.
Okay.
And then I think after supper, I'm usually quite full.
So wait.
So then I don't, so it's like what, 5-6 times a day?
So so that fruit that you have at supper.
Yeah, but I eat 3 full meals a day and then 3 small meals.
And that fruit doesn't store, because you're having it at supper time, it doesn't store.
So I'll have my banana, right? But I'll buy those really small bananas. So then I'll have one and then I'll take a small amount of insulin with it.
Okay.
Just so that, because banana can spike.
Really?
Banana is one of those weird things for me where sometimes it has a spike and sometimes it doesn't.
Wow.
So if I do sometimes take extra like insulin with a banana, I'll end up going low sometimes. That's really weird.
Wow.
Or there's other times if I don't take insulin, then I'll fucking spike.
Wow.
Yeah, it's weird.
I have banana every day after training, after my work.
Okay, that's good.
I have
Potassium.
I have honey in the morning before gym, and then after gym I have banana. So I'm just hearing all these things that can spike you.
Apparently, our bodies have like quite a. They have like a certain amount of potassium that we need to take in.
Yes.
That won't be enough just from a banana.
Oh.
So apparently we're supposed to supplement
Different
potassium.
sources.
Yeah, apparently so. I saw it like a YouTube
Really?
thing. Yeah, it was quite informative actually. It's not like one of these things that it's actual science. Yeah.
Is that the same with protein as well? You can't just get it from, let's say, chicken.
I know some type 1s who actually follow a plant-based diet.
Okay,
Funny
now
enough.
that's interesting.
Yeah.
Explain that to me, please.
Yeah, so I don't really know how they regulate the insulin with it, but I know that they would do like the soya mints, and like they'll do like a lot of like, you know, the pumpkin seeds and things as snacks.
Okay, so wait.
And
Pumpkin seeds, just stop right there.
Apparently it's high in protein, apparently. I don't.
Really? Because for me, pumpkin seeds is high in fat. So whenever I see something,
Is it?
yeah.
Oh, okay.
It's because
Then
like
maybe I don't know.
it's high in fat. It's seen as
Yeah, but they'll use that as snacks.
Because for me, if I see let's say lentils, right? Now lentils,
Yeah, they'll do a lot of that.
They say it's a protein, right?
Yeah.
Now if I look at the ratio of nutritional value of the food, right? I look at protein, I look at carbs. It's got a higher ratio of carbs to protein. So for me, that becomes a high protein carb.
Okay.
So it is, at the end of the day, it's a carb.
Still a carb.
Same with pumpkin seeds. Pumpkin seeds is a high ratio of fat.
Yeah.
And a low ratio of protein and carbs.
Okay.
So that becomes more fat for me.
Okay, so whatever's dominant for you.
Exactly.
Okay.
So same thing with peanut butter as well. Peanuts, it's the same thing.
Oh, that's a fat.
Yeah, exactly. Even though they say, there's a lot of protein in here, but it's a fat because it's got a high ratio of fat. So how do they...
Yeah, I don't know, man. I'll probably have to ask one of them, man. Because I think I know of like 2 or 3 of them that I follow on Instagram, but I think they're in the States. They're not in South Africa, yeah.
Because I mean, how do they maintain that if it's just...
And especially maintaining muscle mass, eh? Yeah. Especially muscle mass. That's like what I
wanted to ask you, like, how do you... Okay, you obviously do weight training nowadays, right?
Yeah.
Okay, so is it harder for you
even though I don't look so.
Is it harder for you to build muscle and to maintain muscle?
Oh, it's super hard, man.
Really?
It's super hard because the main thing, the most important thing that you need to do is keep your sugar in range.
Oh.
Like, at those crucial times, because you're training, you're doing like an intense sort of weight workout. So now your muscles obviously tearing up or whatever.
Yeah.
You take in your protein and it's supposed to absorb into your body more. But at the same time, that can't be absorbed optimally if your glucose isn't at the proper level.
Fuck.
You know what I'm saying? So, like I said, this room is your vein or your blood.
Yeah.
Right? So if it's like quite high in here, then on the other side of that door where the magic happens, you're not feeding it enough of the nutrition you took in, then your body is just going to take off the reserve fats and muscle cells to metabolize.
Oh.
So that's how you lose weight.
Okay.
Because it's taking off what's stored. You know what I'm saying? So if you don't feed it what it needs, then it's going to do it anyway.
Because like at the end of the day, your body just wants to survive. Your body might keep you alive.
Yes.
So it'll take the first easiest thing to metabolize, which is protein or amino acids.
So that's why it's super hard for diabetes to build muscle. It can be done, and I've actually got some type 1s on my Instagram who are bodybuilders.
Wow.
Like, they're huge, dude.
Type
1 diabetic natural bodybuilders, like no steroids, nothing.
Okay,
so
I was going to ask you steroids, because like, I know insulin, a lot of bodybuilders take insulin,
dude,
because it's as a growth factor.
That's crazy.
So
if they knew how dangerous this shit is, dude, that's like you actually really like playing with your life.
Just explain that. Just explain.
So look, the thing is, if you eat as a diabetic and you take insulin, your body's supposed to take care of what you ate, right? If you eat a burger or whatever, your body naturally takes care of that. So you've got that insulin, in your system already. So then why inject more insulin? You're going to end up with a surplus insulin in your system. And that can be dangerous.
Okay, dangerous how?
Dangerous in the sense where your body's already naturally taking care of the carbs in your blood, right? But of the glucose in your blood. But if you take that insulin, right, then you could get to a level where there's no more or a very low level of glucose left in your system. And you've got this extra insulin now in your body screaming, feed me, feed me, feed me, or whatever. And you didn't eat enough for that. And you end up like passing out, going into a coma or whatever the case may be. Because you're putting yourself at risk for going into hypoglycemia. Yeah. Low sugar. So I find it very interesting that they do that, and I find it quite stupid, to be honest, because it's dangerous. It's extremely dangerous.
Shit.
Yeah, and I've heard of that. Because many, like when I would gym with a lot of the guys in the gym, they're like, "Oh shit, bruh, you're type 1. You know how quick you can blow up if you take insulin." It's like, but the thing is, I'm a little different. Holy shit. It's like, yeah.
So like you've been this weight for quite a while now.
Yeah.
Is it?
Yeah.
Are you finding it hard to gain weight now, generally?
Yeah, generally. But look, the thing is, I've made peace with the fact that I won't look like a rugby player. I'm not built that way. But all that matters to me is that, like, my heart is good.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Because diabetes can have like an impact on the cardiovascular system as well.
Kidneys is fine.
Yeah, kidneys are good. So for me, it's like, I just want to feel like I have energy. So I want to feel like, look, if something happens, like let's say I'm somewhere and a brother like chases me with a knife, I must just be at that level where I can just do enough to get away.
Okay.
Survive in a life-threatening situation.
Okay.
Or if you maybe tell me like, oh, let's, go for like a hour hike or an hour jog or whatever, then I just want that level to just, I don't want to be like fit on a level where I can compete with like international athletes or even local athletes. I just want to sort of be good for myself.
Just be healthy.
You know what I'm saying? Like we had this conversation about like what is the optimum level. Like we were saying, so many people settle for like a mediocre lifestyle. They don't really see how far they can go. Like I feel like for example, like when I said we are different
Yeah.
from like the surroundings, where we come from, and learning another language, learning an instrument, it's just different from what happens, man.
Yeah.
So for us, we're pushing boundaries on ourselves, like, you jumped, like you benched 100 last week, like, for example.
Okay.
Yeah. Like, so then maybe like your goal is to like get to benching 120 and still being able to get to 6 to 8 reps.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? So if you reach that, hey, that's your fitness goal.
Yeah.
If that is lag for someone else, then that's fine. That's his thing.
That's it, yeah.
But if you did it for yourself, you've reached the optimum level for you that you set out to
It's
be.
you versus you.
And that's nothing. It's you versus you. And so many people feel, and that's, I think, why, there's a lot of sort of attention being thrown on mental health now and on social media and body positivity and all of that. And I feel it's great. Sometimes it's too much, I feel.
Yeah.
But I do feel it's great that it gets out there. Because there's a large audience out there who don't know this. But focusing on what other people are doing, this guy's driving that car, he's always in the nice restaurants, he's always...
That's the gram, man.
Then you're like, no, my life is cuck.
Yeah.
I'm not privileged.
Yeah.
But you really need to look at your privileges from a standpoint like, look, we got our siblings, we got our parents, we got our families, we got good people in our circle. You know what I'm saying?
Every situation is different, man.
And every privilege is different.
Yeah, and that person, let's say that person with going to restaurants all the time or to the clubs or popping bottles all the time, like, you don't know what's going on in their life.
Yeah.
Like Jordan Peterson said, like, this guy in the Ferrari, he drives past you. I think he used a reference of Porsche, but anyway, drives past you, like, wow, I want to be like that guy. I want to be like that guy. But you don't know, like, what the guy could be really unhappy in his life.
No, definitely.
So you don't know. You don't know.
Bro.
So I don't think people should compare.
Exactly. I think it's you versus you.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
You versus you is like, you have to be better than the person you were the day before. That's it.
That's why I said, I'm like this year for me, it's about rounding off the things that I didn't get to do. I want to do the French certification. I want to finish up my album. I've got it. It's all done. I've got the lyrics. I've got the stuff. I just need to obviously sort some of the beats out. But I want to round that off. You know what I mean? I want to, obviously, I've got fitness goals for myself that you might laugh at, because for you, that's where you started.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? But for me, it's like, that's the next step for me. Also, goal for the year is also like to try and save more money, to put away. We need to generate generational wealth.
Exactly.
Going forward, especially as brown people, bruh.
Yeah, bruh.
I
want my unborn kids to have money.
Exactly. Exactly. And, we need to just teach our kids different from what like social media is teaching them. Because the battle back in the day before social media was like, don't mess with that friend, don't mess with that friend, be careful for him or them or what they say and how they influence you. But now the kid is in their room and they're in the world now through their phone.
Yeah.
So it's harder to falter.
Sure.
You know what I'm saying? Can you imagine being a parent in this time?
I can't.
Yo.
I can't imagine being a parent at all.
That's gonna come eventually. It's gonna come.
I don't know.
For both of us.
But I don't know. Man, it's crazy.
Yeah, it's a crazy world, bruh, but it's super. And I think like if any of the people watching this, if there's something that they can take home from all the shit talk that we've been doing here, it's just like, know who you are, set goals for yourself, don't compete with people, just try to, especially because if you know who you are, nothing else matters.
Yeah.
No one's opinion matters.
I think that's
no one's success level matters because you're on your own lane, own pace.
I think that's what hip hop taught me is like, like knowledge of self, man.
Yeah.
Like, once you have that, like nobody can fuck with you.
Yeah, nah, definitely.
And you just feel so much confident. You can go to step into any room.
Yeah.
You can be yourself at all times. You don't have to pretend. You don't have to try to impress.
And it feels lekker.
It feels awesome.
It feels lekker. Just being you.
You feel free.
Yeah. Sometimes, like we had this talk the other day, like sometimes you'll be yourself or whatever. And I was thinking a lot about this earlier as well when I was thinking like, what the hell am I going to say to you? I was thinking to myself like, the ego thing. That's so dangerous, man. Because I got to a stop like the same time as another guy. And then he was there and I saw he wanted to go before me. And then I'm like, wait, it's cool.
Yeah.
I wasn't going to be like, I got here first. Yeah. Why did you go? You know what I'm saying?
Upset yourself.
Yeah.
For no
so
reason.
I feel like, with I'm really just trying to do away with all the egotistical stuff. Like, for example, I'll give sensitive opinions on sensitive things. Like, I'll say like, look, this is really sad. It makes me feel like shit.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? I'll be very like open and honest about like how I feel and not hide behind that toxic masculinity shell. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
I can't bring myself to like cry in front of like people.
Oh wow.
Or whatever. Yeah, I can't. That's the I'm battling with.
Wow.
Yeah. Like for example, if there's like a sad scene in a movie or whatever, and like Heather's like crying or whatever, then I'm like, I feel sad, but it just doesn't come out. Yeah. Okay. I feel like something in me still holds back. You know what I'm saying? So I feel like, like we said, be who you are, be yourself, you around people. It doesn't matter if the people look at you like, yo, check this bra or whatever. Yeah. Because people who actually think like that are still very uncomfortable with themselves.
Oh, yeah.
You know what I'm saying? That's the realization I came to.
And I think it's more an insecurity that it's got nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with you.
Nothing to do with you.
Nothing at all.
Like I know friends who I came up with that like told me like when they got drunk saying like they can't even look me in the eye. Like
why?
I don't know. They just feel a bit insecure for some reason because they know where I came from and they know like the work that I'm putting in and they know what they should be doing to put in the work to get themselves out
for mediocre life.
Yeah, exactly. But when they see me, they feel some kind of way. Like it's like all these stories
but I guess that's also where you and I like if we like for example there's nothing wrong with a mediocre life, right?
If you're happy with it,
if you're happy with it, there's nothing. I mean, if your biggest goal is just to have a wife and kids, that's cool. That's your thing. As long as, you raise them right and, you raise them to respect themselves and become something, right?
Yeah.
And I feel like, for example, for people like you and I, if we do sort of encounter someone who maybe doesn't do music, doesn't play instruments, doesn't like fucking win film awards. You know what I'm saying?
Look,
we have to tell them, like, look, dude, my path is different from yours.
It's different.
You don't have to feel inferior. You can still be my friend.
I always tell people,
because people feel like they can't be in your circle anymore. That's not true.
Just because we have different interests doesn't mean we can't be friends.
Yeah.
I mean, that's why I like having friends who don't do the same thing I do. Like, have your own path. It's about the lifestyle, enjoying the lifestyle.
And the choices you make, right?
Yeah, and you must enjoy it. You can't do it and then you're not enjoying it. Then what's the fucking point?
Yeah.
If you're not having fun, what is the point?
Yeah, exactly.
You know what I mean? Are you doing this for likes on Instagram?
Yeah.
You know what? What are you
That's
doing
the
it
wrong
for?
reasons, yeah.
Exactly.
It's got to be for you. And you mentioned now, like, being around the friends who drink and that, like, everyone I know, like, drinks.
Everyone I know, too.
Yeah, but I don't. So, but the thing is, I feel super comfortable being around them.
I don't have a problem
and they
with
drinking, and I'm like, make me coffee, man. Make me coffee, or I'll have my tea because I feel secure with myself.
I take my green tea bags with me.
Yeah, good. Yeah, exactly.
So what first of all, the organization that you're an ambassador.
So I'm basically like, I wouldn't say an ambassador because all of us, this diabetes advocacy thing is a pro bono thing. Okay. It's just all of us who were in the field.
Okay.
We're not in the field, but type 1 diabetics, right? So there's a few of us who's like representing like all of them. So there's an organization called Sweet Life. Okay. She's like Bridget, shout out to Bridget, she's like at the root of all this shit. So Bridget sort of asked, like, ropes a few of us in here and there to like, to like talk to the media or something like that, because it's nice to also have, even though she's driving the thing, it's nice to hear it directly from the community. Yeah. So I'm just part of the community, I'm just representing,
And then, so I wanted to ask you something now. You just mentioned, but I'm just trying to think.
Yeah, it's cool, don't worry.
It's very important that I wanted to ask this. But, okay, so you guys are trying to bring awareness to the medical aid and to the government.
Yeah.
To push this through so that it's available more, so that it's
more accessible
to everyone.
Yeah, exactly.
So how are you guys going about doing this? Okay, I remember you said that you're doing the testimonials.
Yeah.
To the medical aids and to the government as well.
So look, I'm not really sure, but I know the board for medical aid schemes. I'm not sure about their involvement in the public sector, to be honest with you. I know that they're in the private sector, but I'm not sure about the involvement. But I know that we also want to get it into government as well. But the reason why we're taking on the private route is because instead of with government, you've got to consider tenders, you've got to jump through a lot of hoops, you've got to do a draft bill and debate it in parliament and then pass a...
And it takes 10 years.
Exactly, white paper, bill, whatever, however it works, right? So once we have it in the private sector, so the route to the private market is easier. So once we have it in the private sector, that's now according to my understanding, look, then there'll at least be a leg to stand on when we do go to government.
Yes.
You know what I'm saying? Look, this is really needed. This is the data. These are the stats.
Yes.
This is how it has benefited people. This is how it actually has saved the medical aid money. Because government always wants to find out how they can cut corners on shit.
Yeah.
Right?
Because, okay, when was do you know when the first case of diabetes was
well, I know was brought to the attention of the world.
Yeah.
I know that the first kid, I think it was a kid in Canada, can't get to his name now. He actually was diagnosed with diabetes, but at the same time, even though he was really losing weight, because that's how people would get type 1 diabetes, and within 3 weeks they'll just die because there was no insulin. Synthesized insulin.
How long ago was that?
Man, insulin's exactly 100 years now. Yeah, so that was 1922.
So you telling me
Frederick Banting, the Banting guy.
So Banting was based on
So Banting, I think, was a Canadian.
I didn't know that.
I think he was a Canadian, scientist.
Yeah.
And I'm not sure if he developed it and then sold the patent of it for $1 to the university.
Yeah.
So that everyone can have access
to it.
To insulin. Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
But that is a high protein, high fat diet, correct?
Yeah. Yeah. Okay. So basically, I think they would then put them on that before there was insulin to sort of minimize on the impact on the sugar. Yeah.
Okay, that makes
sense. So
then
that kid actually.
So you telling me
could actually Google that shit. Bothering me.
In 100 years, they've known about this for, let's say, give or take 100 years, and still the medical aid is not coming to the party. That's fucked up. And the government That's fucked up. I mean,
yeah. Yeah. First boy to receive. So on 11 January 1922, insulin was first used in a human to treat diabetes. Leonard Thompson, a 14-year-old boy dying from type 1 diabetes, became the first person to receive an injection of insulin.
Wow.
Yeah.
The insulin that's being administered now, or that's
Leonard Thompson,
being distributed now. I heard it's
different. They used to make it, I think, from pigs.
From pigs, yes.
Yeah, from pigs. But now I think it's synthesized differently from, I think, bacteria or something.
Because
I don't know.
The vegans complained about it, or Peter complained about it.
Yeah, but I think that's been years ago, man. I think they changed it I don't know how long ago.
Have you received any feedback from the government or from medical aid with regards to...
We'll hear from them, and I think in about 3 or 4 months, man.
Is it?
Yeah, they have 4 months to answer us, so we'll see.
Now, do you go to each medical aid? Do you go to this one board?
No, so the board controls all the medical aids. So if the board makes the change, then all medical aids must have it. So because previously we approached individual medical
and
aids.
then they just turned it down.
But yeah, only Discovery sort of bit the bullet somewhat. But now if we go to the very top, then it's like,
wow.
Oh, you guys need to listen to this.
I'm just trying to think of all the other stuff they add on chronic, you know. But this is like life. It's life and death.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah, the senses, yeah, it really does. But the funny thing is, like, you have guys who are like 30, 40 years diabetic now, who lived through a time before there were sensors. They used to, even before there were test strips, there was like a whole row of like things, and you would have to like pee in a cup and then put the thing in. That's how, before it became finger prick method.
Okay.
Yeah, I know a guy like that. He's still alive and kicking.
Let's say I was type 1, right?
Yeah.
Or type 2 even, and I needed strips and I needed a glucometer, right?
Yeah.
How will my medical aid cover that?
Yeah, they normally cover those basics. Yeah,
okay,
they normally cover those basics. Yeah, but it's really like the way I showed you now. It's really the old way, man.
And insulin.
They would
cover,
yeah.
Do they cover that?
They do cover the insulin. Americans have a massive problem with insulin now. Like we have an issue with a continuous glucose monitoring system. With them, like the prices of insulin are just, dude, it's like fucking crazy. Like some Americans close to the Canadian border actually go to Canada to buy insulin.
Oh.
Yeah. So because even if you have medical aid, depending on your plan, there's sometimes a crazy co-payment. Or if you don't have medical aid and buying insulin cash. Dude, it's like crazy. We're talking like probably like for a vial, it's probably like $300-$400 for a vial, and you may need, I think, 2 or 3 of those vials in a month. Fucks people up.
Holy shit.
Yeah, so that's why people have actually died because of not taking enough insulin because they simply can't afford it. Yeah.
So okay, so
crazy.
So in South Africa, right, when it comes to insulin, right?
It's quite accessible.
Very
accessible, very affordable.
Does it come off your savings from the medical aid?
No.
Is it chronic?
Okay. You get it off chronic.
So that's chronic.
Yeah.
Okay.
All my stuff's on chronic, like even the test strips is also on chronic.
Okay. And government level, like if I were like,
you would definitely get insulin at government level. You would also get test strips at government level. Yeah, and you get your needles also. You'll get all the stuff.
Okay.
But certain types of insulins are not available on government level. Yeah. But look, you will get insulin.
Okay.
But you might not get a lot of test strip boxes. Because government, for some reason, only gives you one, which is weird.
Now, what type of different insulins? Because you say only certain types you get.
Yeah, so look, you get the short acting and the long acting. So obviously, there's too many brands to name.
Okay.
But the long acting insulin, I think this is like a sort of key difference I want to highlight, is like you get 24-hour insulins and you get 48 hours.
Oh, I didn't know you get the 48 hours.
Yeah, you get the 48. Yeah, that's called receiver. But I think there's other insulins as well. I think it's quite pricey, yeah. But some people have actually reported really like good glucose control with that.
Okay.
I, for one, I've got a bit of anxiety because I've been on those same issues, insulin, since I was diagnosed. Yeah. So, yeah, for me, look, I just keep going, bruh. I just up and forward.
Yeah.
I can't sit and feel sorry for myself, dude.
It's a good attitude.
Need to just run with it, bruh, and
live your life.
Yeah, no, definitely. My health is like priority. Health is priority for me. Yeah, it's tricky also, with work also with it. You're required to travel sometimes. So you stand in long airport queues and stuff like that.
Yeah, I was going to ask you, like, do you take snacks?
Okay.
Yeah.
So they do have on the plane. I remember we flew to Philadelphia, and then we could basically help ourselves, because I spoke to the flight people on BA and British Airways, and they were really friendly, and they're like, listen, anytime you need something, just come to the kitchen and just help yourself.
That's quite.
Yeah. So they were really nice.
That's cool understanding.
So I could even peanuts and raisins and shit that I could like.
Do you tell them on the flight or before you book the ticket to say the certain diet?
So before, so I choose. And that the apparent diabetic diet, I wouldn't even say it's a diabetic diet, man. It's just that instead of you getting like a bowl of pasta, they would then give you a chicken breast.
Okay.
And they'll give you an apple. And they'll give you like they'll give you some crackers also. Okay. They'll give you a plain yogurt and some muesli.
Yeah.
So look, it's not it's not. It doesn't mean your sugar won't spike, but it's at least a healthier option.
Yeah.
And for me, like when I opened that thing and I saw I had a chicken breast, I was like, "Shot!
Yo, this is life."
You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
So I would actually, if you fly again, just choose the diabetic thing. They'll give you liquor stuff.
Because that's what I did when I flew to Europe.
Yeah.
I flew with Emirates. Like Emirates really like took care of me. Like they gave me what I wanted.
And it comes
when I
first.
booked. Yeah.
It comes first before they come with the trolley. They're like, for you. By the time you're done eating, then
because like when I flew with SAA before international flight, I booked before and I said like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
They said no, we didn't receive such an order. I was like, what the fuck? Like,
you have to log in on the website and then change it. Yeah, then you get sent, I think, email confirmation.
No, but I did. I got the email confirmation. Everything was there.
But like, you know at that time what was happening in SAA. I don't think they care about your diet.
But when I flew with Emirates, I expected the same treatment. I was like, they're not gonna fuck with me on that level. Then I was like, wait. They gave me breakfast, a different meal. They gave me lunch, a different meal. I was like, wait, I'm good here.
Yeah, it's nice. With the plain yogurt.
Yeah, they're taking care of me. Gave me fruit and everything. Also, like
fruits. Yeah, exactly.
I think they gave me grapes or something. Yeah.
Man, that's crazy, man. What's your final thoughts, bruh? Give me your final thoughts.
Is there any way that non-diabetics can support this cause?
That's amazing. Very good, yeah. So yeah, no, definitely. I think that with us, we always putting out like the websites and stuff. I mean, if you want, you can share it on here. But I think just like, if you see like a petition or you see your post or whatever, it costs nothing to share.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? You just share the thing or whatever. Or if there are things that need your signature,
Yeah. Is there currently a petition that we can...
So there was the petition on the CGM stuff, the continuous glucose monitoring sensors. So I don't know if it's still active, but I know they were trying to get to, I think, 3,000 signatures, and when I checked again, there were almost 7,000.
Oh wow!
So it was quite good, yeah. A lot of support happening.
What is the website for that?
Man, I know you can check on Sweet Life. I think it's www.sweetlife.org.za.
Okay.
Yeah,
okay.
Just check. That's good enough. Okay. That'll show you everything. If you're on Facebook, just Diabetic South Africans.
Diabetic South Africans.
Yeah.
Okay.
And then I think LinkedIn as well is a Diabetic South Africans thing. Yeah. But I think Facebook or just Sweet Life thing will sort you out.
Okay.
It'll take you everywhere. Nah, bruh. This is an awesome chat, dude. Must definitely do a follow-up.
We have to. Where can people find you on Instagram, socials?
Yeah, just my first name, Earl, EARL, and 952.
952?
Yeah, I'm not going to say what it means. Give away areas and people find you. Yeah.
Okay.
So,
well, thank you so much for doing this. I really appreciate your time and for speaking about this.
Yeah.
Oh, just one last thing.
We spoke about a whole bunch of shit.
If you I know, if
you must just group it better together with your editing. We were all over the show.
No, it's good. I don't care. Like, we're getting messages across here.
Yeah,
and it's organic, and that's the way I want it. I don't want it to be formal, like it's a news segment. You know what I mean? It's just two people having a chat.
Yeah.
But how did you overcome? Because a lot of people I know going to be newly diagnosed, and how do they overcome being with their friends and family, or being in public with people that don't know, let's say in a work environment, and there's a conference, and they have to check their insulin. How did you overcome that? How did you make people comfortable and aware of that you were diabetic?
Yeah. No, you just have to. I feel like a lot of people feel like diabetes is something to be embarrassed or shy about, but it's not. You actually have to inform people about it, because the more people who know, the better.
Exactly.
Because there could be a situation where those very people that you were shy of help you and save
your life.
Exactly. And I think it's also important to be part of a community. We've got so many social media, platforms that you can be a part of, Instagram, Facebook, or whatever. Like, we all over the show. Like, it's just important for someone to know that they're not alone in this shit.
Yes.
There's like a lot of people dealing with the same struggle. Yeah, that's it, man. Just get in there and just run with it.
Because I know there's gonna be some people that's gonna be, let's say they at work, and they're gonna be too, if people's around, they're gonna feel a bit too insecure, too shy to check their sugar levels.
Yeah.
And then that could impact them.
No, but never your yeah, no, your life comes first. It doesn't matter what people think. I mean, if you're sitting and you're eating at a table and you start choking, or you're gonna try to be polite, you know, or you're gonna go like,
yeah,
try to get it out.
I know what you
like,
mean. I know what you
I'm
mean.
choking, I'm dying, but I need to save face. Nah.
So you didn't care. You just said.
Nah, I just ran with it.
From the jump.
Yeah, from the jump. I mean, look, I was like a bit shy like I used to. But I don't think like I was shy. It's like I was more like sort of conscious of like how would someone else feel if they saw blood or whatever. So I would always go to the bathroom and inject or whatever. Yeah. But now I don't give a shit.
So confidence built over time. The more you did it,
it does. You have to be confident in your diabetes. You know.
So any tips for people that might be struggling, or newbies, so to say, newbies, people who don't know much about it, even they were diagnosed, or people like me who was non-diabetic, that need to take all these things into account? Like
I think just get informed. Just get informed. You know, just Google something. When I was diagnosed in the States, and I stayed on for about 3 weeks after my diagnosis by my sister. And then I spent every day just on YouTube. Just like, what is diabetes?
Oh, wow.
Yeah, how does it work? I didn't know, because we had educational sessions in the hospital. But, 1 or 2 sessions just isn't enough.
Do you have to trial and error. Like that?
We had, I know we're busy putting together a training program, but it's more like on how to advocate for diabetes, but it's not like a very grassroots level, like what is diabetes?
To understand it.
Thing, But look, that information is out there. There's a lot of information on there.
But like, would you say like, always have your strips and your
have it at hand, take care of yourself, because the thing is, you won't see the impact now, but in a few years you'll start to feel the knocks.
So always have it with you, pack snacks wherever you go.
Always be prepared.
And how often you should get checked up by the doctor?
Yeah, no, look, ideally, I think every 3 to 6 months.
Okay.
Just draw your bloods and just check your average glucose control.
Okay.
That's it. Furthermore, it's something you manage yourself. No doctor or dietitian. They can advise you to a certain point, but they don't live the life.
Yeah.
I'm actually busy trying to find myself a doctor who's also type 1 diabetic now.
Oh, wow.
I've heard of 1 or 2 of them, so I'm going to go investigate further. Okay. And then I'm rather going to consult with them. Because I feel like someone needs to live the same life, walk the same path that I'm walking, to give me proper advice.
I completely understand, and that should be and it's probably hard to find that.
Yeah, exactly, man, bro.
Thanks so much for doing this.
Amazing,
I appreciate you. I appreciate your time. Thank you. Man.
I feel like we're gonna chill later again.
I feel so too. But thanks so much for that.
What you doing out in these streets, slave rule? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out? What you doing out? What you doing out in these streets? What you doing out in these streets, slave rule? We in these streets.